I hope all of you are doing well today. Welcome to the Stealthy Crafter. I'm Jessica, and today I will be doing a Wip Chat. If you're new here and you do not know what Wip stands for, it stands for Work in Progress. And what that means is that you can bring out your own projects, or if you want, you could sit and drive in a car and listen to me like it's a podcast, or you could do absolutely nothing and listen to me ramble about what's been going on in during my week, or in this case weeks, because this is all about my vacation and retreat. But word of warning, I have 2 pages back, front and back, full of notes over here. Most of it is about the retreat, and then it's like a little bit of sliver about the vacation I had right after. But anyway, there may be interruptions. It is the start of summer vacation for my kids, so I will be probably have to stop my recording from time to time to take care of matters that they are having and everything. But yeah, hope you guys are doing well. I am still working on Manny. I was hoping to get them done before the end of June, and unfortunately that didn't happen. I was like, okay, I can get this done before I leave for the retreat, and you know, with everything that was happening, I had to stop and just go, no, I have to stop, and I'll come back to him. And then I was like, oh, I'm going to take him with me to the beach. And I had to think about it and went, no, that's not going to work either. And so he kind of just sat over here, just being all by lonesome, waiting for me to come back. And I've been working on him a little bit. I got a couple of sections done, so I'm so happy about that. And hopefully I will get done with him very soon, because I'm excited about how he looks. Anyway, so before I start onto the retreat, we're gonna go back a day, because that was actually my children's award ceremony. It was like it was Michael and Jana's award ceremony, and it was wonderful. They both did great. Michael scored high in perennial math, and so he got like a little medal medallion kind of thing for it. And then like you could see that he definitely had progressed so much more since he switched classes. He definitely improved. I will have to say, his grades improved a lot, because he was actually not on the principal's honor roll last 9 weeks, because he was still in mid switch, so his grades kind of slipped a little bit before they started climbing back up again. So they were improved by a lot. He actually hit principal's honor roll this 4th 9 weeks, and I was so proud of him. And I mean, like, Jana did excellent too. Like, oh my gosh, she was so cute. Like, it was so it was so funny, because it's just like especially during GT stuff, so it'll be like, having both Michael and Jana's names called out, at the same time, and hearing their last name. So, because they're like right next to each other, it's just like, oh, huh? People realize, there's 2. But anyway, but yeah, like during the whole time, I saw his old teacher, and oh my gosh, just seeing her and her little, not smug, but her little smile, it was so fake and condescending looking. It made my blood boil. I was just like, I wanted to give her what for. My husband's like, no, we're not going to ruin the kids' awards. But I wanted to give her a piece of my mind, with how she treated my child, and like found out that she treats other kids like this too. So I was just like, I really wanted to give her what for. Like, you can't go into this profession and be very hateful towards children like that. I mean, like, there's just no, and you can't. But anyway, I noticed that her class was actually a lot smaller than it was at the beginning of the school year. And then of course, like, how they do the awards, like they say, basically who's gotten AB honor roll and then also principal's honor roll and stuff like that. There was not a lot of awards announced out of her classroom, and I'm just like, I wonder why, but I'm trying not to be all but anyway, but yeah, it was just like, yeah, you can tell that, she's not like really good teacher at all, which sucks because the teacher that has to be in her teaching block, she's a really sweet teacher, and Michael loved her, and I was so sad that he had to not be with her anymore, because that half was at least somewhat helped with him a bit. So but anyway, so they started doing like the end of the at the end of the whole thing was just like, I thought we were done. They had the honor choir, singing, and then they had the whole entire fourth grade sing a song, and I was just like, okay, I forgot that they do they do a slideshow at the end, and then the lights dimmed, and then the projector slides down, and then I'm just like, oh no. I'm like, and I looked at my husband, I'm like, prepare to tears. But anyway, yep, I started crying. It was a big old baby. And I know next year's going to be worse. They just started recently doing this in the last few years, where they do like a little slideshow of the entire year, and what the kids do, and everything. But I know 5th grade is going to be so much worse, because they're not just do 5th grade pictures. They're going to do kindergarten through 5th grade, since it'd be their last year. They're going to be like, I'm going to be, I got to prep myself. But yeah, anyway, the kids caught me in a sentimental mood. They were all like, basically, can we please leave? Can we please go and get dinner? Not dinner, but lunch, please. And I'm just like, okay, so we started our summer break early. They were already going to not go into school the next day, because I had to go to the airport, and there was just no, it was a half day, so there was just no good time for my husband to drive me into the city, drop me off, and make sure that I'm checked in and all that stuff, and then drive back and get them in time. It was just impossible. So we already decided that they weren't going to go in the next day. It was the last day. They were fine, but but we decided we're going to start summer break early. And as we were walking to the car, I went, hey, how about we go pick up Nicole too, and just start it early for everyone. The twins had a little bit of fuss about that, but I'm like, no, we did that, for you guys when she was still in elementary school. So let's go and do this, So that's what we did. She was so surprised when we picked her up. Early, it was like, hey, kiddo, So yeah, she was so excited. Then we went and got McDonald's. Ugh. Sorry, I do not like McDonald's at all, guys. I hate it with a passion. Gotta whisper that a little bit because I know the kids are listening. But anyway, so yeah, that was the start to our summer break. And then I had to go and finish packing, trying to make sure everything fit in my suitcase. Was like, I had enough room for my second suitcase. I was like, okay, good. Like, I can put stuff from my first suitcase into my second one if I need to. If things are a little bit too big, I was like, okay, I can do this. And let's see. And so I actually slept well that night. I had my CPAP. I was like, that was the last thing I needed to pack, was the CPAP. So like when I woke up, I dried it all off, and everything. My husband let me sleep in a little bit, which is very sweet of him, but I wanted to get a little bit extra time to prep, to get ready to go to get ready for for everything. I wanted to make sure I had everything packed and everything. But so when I woke up, I didn't have as much time to get ready. But luckily I had most everything. There was one thing I forgot, and this might be TMI. But I didn't have I didn't pack toilet paper. Now I am a toilet paper snob. I prefer Charmin. I like Charmin. I do not like the, one ply stuff that, you get like at hotels and, other stuff. It's like, I want soft. I don't want sandpaper on my butt. So I was just like, so I forgot to pack that. That was one of my things that I forgot to pack. I was so sad. I was like, dang it, because, I am a toilet paper snob. I didn't bother buying any because it's like, what's the point, buying it, when, you're not going to go through the entire 4-pack or whatnot, so it's just like, I'll just steal. And just steal I did. But anyway, I wake up. We did wake up the kids. We told them that, we were going to wake them up and so I can say goodbye to them. And Michael didn't want me to leave. Like, he was already kind of asking me if I had to go the night before, and I was like, yes. But man, that morning he started crying and my heart broke, and I was just like, I had to have my husband take care of it, because I would cave and be like, okay, I'm not going, and I would regret that, because I had a blast. I had so much fun at the retreat. I enjoyed myself so much. So but yeah, so I had to tell him, sorry kiddo, at the end I gave him the biggest hug that I could and told him I was going to miss him, which I did. I was so homesick. Like I said, I had a blast. I had fun, but I was really missing them. And I was having mom guilt. I was feeling like I was a terrible mom, during the entire trip. And, my friend Mackenzie was like, talking me out of it and everything. But I felt like I was the most worst, mom in the world for, like, in my mind, I was like, even though everyone else, who are moms and stuff, I wasn't thinking that of them. I was just thinking of me and like, I'm abandoning my kids. How could I? That kind of stuff, But anyway, we get to the airport, I tried to put on makeup, I tried to look a little bit nice, and everything. I couldn't really put on eyeliner. I can never put on eyeliner, guys. My hands are shaky and then my eyes are shaky. So if you guys know how to put, have any good tutorials on how to, deal with, shaky eyes and hands, I would love to know, because it's just like the combination of the two is just, there's just no way I can, stop either or to stop shaking. So like, I've seen stuff for shaky hands, but I've never seen for like the combination kind of thing. So but yeah, my eyes twitch a lot whenever I have them closed. So anyway, but yeah, we get to the airport and start going. We went to a kiosk and to check in and everything. I did do early check-in, but went in to check in to get the tags for my luggage and stuff like that. And I was kind of confused on how to put my luggage, put the tags on the luggage and everything. So I just decided to go to the to check-in bag area, and they showed me what I'm supposed to do. But oh my god, I got a little panic. I had little mini panic attacks during this whole time. But and no, I didn't take a Xanax, so my husband didn't have to go, why is there Bijou bliss trays this time around. But anyway, it's a running joke, because last time I took a Xanax, I bought some Bijou bliss trays. Didn't realize that didn't realize until I woke up after my slumber and was like, how, why did I got an email about, this purchase? But yeah, anyway. had a little bit of a panic attack. I left my wallet in the car because, you know, they asked for your ID, and I'm like, oh my god. But so I was wearing leggings, and these leggings are like, their pants, the pockets are kind of deep on them, and so like I put my hand in my pockets, but I didn't put it far down enough, so I didn't realize it was still in my pocket. And so like when I went for a second pass, I'm like, okay, there it is. So I was like, okay. So got that all cleared. And then he directed me to go where to go. And he put me in the TSA pre-checked aisle, which I was in the wrong area, but since he says that this was where I needed to go to next, I trusted him. And I was just like, okay, you know, was the wrong area, of course. And I got very, like, you know, got sternly told off, you know. I was like, I'm sorry, I was told, you know, to come here, you know, my own fault, you know. But this will be a recurring thing. Anyway, so I get directed to where the actual security line is and everything like that. So it's just like, okay. So I go through there. Oh my goodness, guys. So there's going to be a lot of recurring themes that are happening in here, and one of them is like the gate terminals. And so I was in Terminal C on both airports. So I was in Terminal C in Charlotte, and I was in Terminal C in Dallas. So in Charlotte, like, of course, my gate is the very last gate of this terminal, which is also a reoccurring theme. So anyway, so I had to go there, but first check in, right? So so I get myself, you know, following the instructions, take off my shoes, take out the electronics that's in my backpack, you know. I'm following as best as I can. I'm like, you know, try not to panic, you know, try, you know. Anyway, my backpack gets flagged. Yeah. I'm like, oh gosh. And the guys, you know, you're shoeless, you're walletless, you're phoneless. I felt pretty naked, to be honest, because like I didn't have my cardigan on. I didn't have any of my, I didn't have my shoes on. I didn't have my beanie on. Like I always wear my little hat that I wear when I'm out and about, since I'm still, you know, embarrassed about my hair growth. I mean, like, for the most part, it looks great when you're looking straight at me, if I have it tamed. Otherwise, it'll look like Prince Humperdinck from The Princess Bride in the mornings. But anyway, excuse me a moment. Sorry about that. Like I said, interruptions are going to happen. Anyway. So yeah, my bag, it got flagged. And I just felt so naked. But so anyway, I'm standing there, I'm waiting for the guy to get to my backpack, right? And he's all like, do you have any sharp objects in here? I'm like thinking back, like, did I leave something that was for my chemo thing? You know, because like that was the backpack I take with me when I go and get, you know, when I was getting chemo and everything. So it's just like, and I'm like, not that I'm aware of, right? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure there is nothing sharp in there. So anyway, so TMI, I was also on my period during this entire time. So I pointed to him that my backpack does unzip all the way, but one of my pockets had, you know, the pads, right, and all that stuff. Oh my god, he pulls out my pads, like, in full view of all these other people. I mean, like, it you know, you're gonna have, it's gonna happen, but it was so embarrassing because they're like thick and everything, and it's just like, you know, he's pulling these pads out, and I'm just like, you know, not as discreet, you know, not anymore. And then of course a change of pants, you know, just in case of leakage, you know, and stuff like that. And then I see my diamond painting pen, and I'm like, could it be that? And he looks at it, looks at the screen, and went, yep, right? So it was my diamond painting pen that caused me to be in trouble. All right, interruption number 2. All right, let's see if we can continue on, man. That was like only a minute before the other interruption. Oh my goodness. Let's see how much longer we can last, guys. Anyway, so finally get through all of that, get my shoes on, I get my cardigan back on, have to put my pads back into my backpack, because good lord, that was embarrassing. I mean, like, I know it's a fact of life, but good lord, you know, did you have to like strewn it out? But you know, anyway. So yeah, I was like, after all that, I was like, I need to go to the restroom. I'm scared. Like, oh my god, that was a lot. So I basically got myself all, started, I got myself through the line, and I'm finally in the terminal and stuff like that. And as I'm walking, I'm like, maybe I should get some food first, right? You know, I was like looking around, and I'm like, okay, there's a Dunkin' Donuts on the way to my gate, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna pick up some coffee, and I picked up like a bottle coffee instead. I didn't want to try and place an order and all that stuff, so I did that, and I grabbed a donut, and my goodness, this is not wanting to. Okay, there we go. Anyway, so yeah, I get myself get myself through that. So I had to go through that line, and get my food, and then I'm like, I throw it into my backpack, and I look for a bathroom immediately. Like, I'm like, I gotta go find a bathroom, because after going through all that, getting a scare, you have to go and relieve yourself. Anyway. Luckily they had those like fast walkways and stuff like that, which Dallas did not have, or if they did, I was not anywhere near one, because good lord, that was not fun for me. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I got to go through some of the fast walkways, which was fun. I actually that was a lot of fun. And got to found a bathroom, and then I was at the very last gate. Like I said, my gate was like the very last one of the terminal. So I get there, and it is so crowded, guys. It was like that corner was just completely packed. I'm like, oh my goodness, right? So had no seating, and I was just like, okay, I'm hungry, I want to eat. So I take a few bites of my donut, I pull it out, I take a few bites. It did not taste good. I took like 3 bites, and I'm like, nope, threw it in the trash. I did guzzle down my drink, though. I was like, okay, at least I have something to drink, I'm thirsty. So I did that. And then I finally got in a seat maybe like 10 minutes before boarding or so. And then that's when I had my second little panic. Well, honestly, third at this point, because if you count the TSA thing, was my second one. But anyway, I also threw my wallet in my backpack after I paid for my food and stuff like that, so that way I could go to the bathroom and stuff like that. And I was like, where's my wallet? But it was like hidden underneath one of my pads. So I gotten that back out, and I was like, oh, thank goodness. Anyway, let me scoot myself back into this, because I was like starting to scoot further away. This chair is so squeaky, so if you hear it, I apologize. Anyway, so yeah, got to board the plane. It was kind of nice to be able to get there, and I was so worried that I would have to ask about a seatbelt extender, and thankfully I did not. I fit perfectly in my seat, just enough. I fit in it just enough, and then my fears were basically confirmed, because one of the things I didn't want to do was like have someone complain about me, if I was like spilling into their seat or anything like that. And we were debating about getting a second seat for me if I was in economy, but it was like at that point, the business/first class was actually cheaper than getting 2 seats. And I've heard that even if you You know, there's some people who said that like they have trouble getting there's 2 seats together, even if you pay for priority to have them next to each other and all that stuff. But anyway, so yeah, they were confirmed because someone comes up and starts complaining about a plus size person, you know, like in, you know, being near their seat and stuff like that. It didn't sound like he was as big as me, but good lord, this guy, you know, was just complaining because the arm was touching his arm. The guy's arm was touching his arm, and I was just like, okay, you know, but you know, I get it, but at the same time, it's just like, oh my god. But they fixed that, you know, for him. they were like, okay, we'll get that fixed, you know. Basically, this other guy was able to, you know, he was like trying to get someone to switch seats with him and everything, and that was taken care of. But yeah, I was just like, yeah, that's why I was like worried. That's what I was worried about. I was really worried about that, you know. Anyway, you know, I'm kind of all nervous about flying. There was this guy that's sitting next to me, you know, he could tell that I was kind of new to flying and stuff like that, and I, you know, we talked a little bit, you know, and all that stuff, and I felt so fancy sitting there. I mean, my husband spoiled me, man. I'm like, I don't want to go in economy after all this. But I am, if, you know, especially, you know, if I get to go to the retreat again, or a different retreat or anything like that, I'm going to have to be in economy. It's like, dang, you know, but it's just like, because my husband wanted to make sure I was comfortable, you know, especially for my first trip and everything. So anyway, I get asked if I wanted a drink, you know, before takeoff. I'm like, water, please, you know, just water, you know. Got water, you know, and the whole trip I didn't do much more than water and then like a soda. I know I could have gotten myself like a martini or a cocktail or something like that, but I was not looking to be already buzzed by the time I landed, because I am a lightweight, guys. I am a total lightweight. Anyway, so there was so much turbulence on this plane. It was like to the point where they couldn't really bring out refreshments and stuff when we took off. I was able to take a bunch of pictures for the kids, like of me up in the air, like took things like, you know, like looking, you know, taking pictures of being in a cloud and then being up in the air, you know, like, you know, overseeing sceneries and stuff like that. It was really cool. I liked it. I like this. I like this airplane, the first ride there compared to the ride back. But yeah, I felt really fancy. And then especially because like they were handing out the mixed nuts once they started handing out refreshments and stuff like that. I got like a bowl of warm nuts, and yeah, the child of me kind of snickered and like hee, you know how it is. Anyway, but but yeah, the kid in me was like hee, you know, warm nuts, you know, whatnot. Anyway, but I was very confused about where the tray was, and then the guy helped me find the button to, you know, to get the tray open and everything. That wasn't as comfortable as a fit, like once I did that. Also, I did not need the seatbelt extender. I fit perfectly. I was so great. But yeah, so yeah, I didn't need my seatbelt extender at all. I was like so thankful for that. But the tray, oh my god, it squeezed me a little bit. I was like, ugh, I can't breathe. But yeah, I actually gotten lunch there. I did check in for lunch, and I put in fruit and cheese, but apparently that didn't go through, I guess. So I didn't get that option when they were asking me what I would like and everything. They instead had something else, like a salad or like chicken and rice. So I went with chicken and rice, and I'm kind of glad I got that because, oh my god, I was so hungry. I was starving. and it was really good. They also had like this little dessert thing that was like raspberry filled. I didn't eat much of it. I only ate like, half of that. I ate my vegetables, and then I was just like, I was kind of good to go. I was so happy, I was like, I feel full. Yay. I don't feel hungry anymore. but but yeah, when we started anyway, while this was all going, while I was in the air and stuff like that, my husband was already starting to prep for getting the kids, entertained for home and stuff like that. He apparently stopped at, I don't know if it's Home Depot or Lowe's. It's one of those home improvement stores. But anyway, he stopped and he gotten flowers, he got plants, he gotten stone and stuff like that, and he and the kids went right to work to decorating the front yard as a surprise for me. And like before it took off, I noticed, my because we have a security alarm. So we have security cameras around the house. So I noticed it was going off, and it showed him in the front yard. But I assumed that he was just, trying to get the grass to grow again. He was learning to put more grass into the yard and stuff like that. But yeah, it was like, instead, they put stones, because I kept telling him I wanted to get stones put around the tree. So they put stones around the tree. They put plants in the driveway. They put these pretty purplish red plants by the doorway. Oh my God, it was so cute. I loved it. And it was the best surprise ever coming home, like seeing all these little things that they did, So, so I'm just like, it was so cool. And we're still going to work on our yard a little bit more. It still needs a lot more work, but fingers crossed that it'll get better. But anyway, so that's what they were doing. And then he took them out for pizza after they got cleaned up. So they went to like the local pizza place that we have, and then afterwards they watched the Minecraft movie again and had ice cream, and he showed me pictures of them passed out on him that night. They were all exhausted. He definitely tuckered them out. He got them so exhausted. They passed out on him, so he had to get them upstairs and tuck them into bed and everything. It was so sweet. I'm like, oh. But yeah. Anyway, I land in Dallas. I'm like, and it was, oh man, it was interesting. So they changed my gate before I landed. So, and apparently this is common. They changed where I was supposed to go. So I was supposed to go to like gate C12 or something like that. C12, I think. No, C14. It was like C16 or something like that. And instead I got moved to C10, right? But baggage was still supposed to be like C12 area, right? That's where the C12 is. And instead, that was not it. So I go into where my baggage claim is, and I ask about it, if it was here. And they were like, one of the workers there went, yes. And I'm like, okay. Right? So it wasn't, didn't, my luggage didn't show. I was like, waiting 5 minutes, waiting another, then 10. And then I go and just ask, I'm like, is this, to someone else who was also working there, like to a different person, standing, next to a computer this time, because the other one was like standing by the security door. So I asked this one, and she goes, no, it is in the C4 area. I'm like, are you kidding me? Which was on the opposite end of the terminal. So just so you know, Mackenzie and Angela are picking me up. So they are in closer to where I originally was supposed to be, and now it's like on the completely opposite spectrum. I'm like, ugh. So I'm messaging Mackenzie. I'm letting her know what's going on. She's all like, and I'm like, basically thinking I'm gonna have to walk all the way to find them. She said, don't worry about it. We'll try and find a spot closer to you. I'm like, okay, thank you. So here, the funny thing is, like, I waited this long, right, for my baggage, right? You'd think my baggage would be there, but I had to also go to the restroom too, and, to make sure that I I didn't leak because my pad did shift and everything. So I was like, I ran to the bathroom, and everything. And then I ran to the new area where I was supposed to pick up my baggage. And guess what? My baggage wasn't there yet. And for a minute, I thought that they finished it and it was like, done, until I saw the guy that I sat next to, was standing there still waiting for his luggage as well. So I was just like, oh, thank goodness. So no, they were just taking their sweet time to get the luggage out. So I was a little grateful that it was, not, that it didn't come out, but it was just like, oh my God, it's still, all that time, I took all that time and it still hasn't come out. So, I let them know, I kept them updated. Excuse me. And then it finally comes out, and I was able to get my luggage. I was so glad that I was able to pick it up because my husband was the one that was taking care of my luggage during the whole time. Spoiler alert, my luggage was heavier on the way back, of course. And okay, I feel like I'm talking a little too fast. I need to slow down, right? So anyway, then they said, okay, we're at this area now. We're in this part. Please, try and find us here. So I asked another person, like, just said, do you know where the closest spot is? Can you just direct me? And luckily, it was right at the exit. It's like right there. I'm like, so, and as I stepped out, I realized I don't know what car they're driving, right? So I'm like, I start kind of looking around because she says she was literally at the spot. It was just a little, I mean, literally they were at the exit, but just a little past it. And then I hear, Jessica, right? And here comes Mackenzie running towards me. And I'm pretty sure I scared people because I was like, Mackenzie. Like I squealed, right? We hugged. It was so great. Oh man, it was. So if you guys don't know, Mackenzie is Dragon Wing Diamonds, right? We started our YouTube channels around the same time. She saw me when I first started, and basically was like her me talk about how I like World of Warcraft, and that's how we started talking and interacting. And then she made her own channel, and she's so awesome, and she's on hiatus, but she's coming back, and I'm so happy about that because it's like I want my best friend back, doing videos, yay. Anyway, but anyway, she comes running towards me, and we squeal, I squeal. I don't know, I don't remember she squealed. I don't think she squealed, but hugs. Oh my gosh, so many hugs. And then she starts putting my suitcase in the back, and I'm like, I can do it. I'm glad she did it, but it was just like I didn't want to make her do that. And then I had to go and climb into it's the second row and everything because Angela bought this, rent this huge car. It was like an Escalade, I think, or something. I don't know. Expedition. I don't know. It was huge. So that way it would fit our luggage, and then also would fit, if we did like any trips and stuff, would have multiple people being able to go. Which, was thankfully, that was the case. Oh, seeing some drills going different places. Anyway, and we start talking and stuff like that. On the way there, we got lost in the airport. Well, not lost. It just took forever to try and get out of the airport. It just felt like we were going in circles. We were just trying to escape, and we couldn't escape. And it took a good 10 to 15 minutes to get out of the airport just because of all the construction, all the weird confusion. It was a maze. It was such a mess. But I was so glad that we were able to get going, and we were start talking about, and then let's see, Angela was telling us about her experience. She got flagged as well for her light pad. And then apparently the guy that was next to her, and this became a running joke, was just like when they landed, he goes, well, we cheated death another day, you know, like, so that became our running joke during the whole trip. It was like, cheated, you know, we cheated another day, you know, like cheated death again, you know, like all the time, like it was funny. But yeah, but I had to try and climb into this car. It was a big car, and I felt so small in this car. And I was like, don't let my husband know that I had a hard time climbing in. um, so yeah. I get in, we're going, I felt so bad because they were hungry, they were waiting on me, and they didn't have food, and they needed to go use the restroom, and they were hungry, and here I was like, look what I had to eat, you know, I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, you know, so yeah, they got themselves some McDonald's, and I got like a frozen Coke while I was there, because I was so thirsty. And then we finally arrive at the retreat place, and it was, oh man, we got greeted by it was like Mama Washi. She gave us our leis. So I was like, oh my god, you know, it was so exciting. And then we got to check in. We gave everyone hugs and stuff like that. And we were like it was so awesome, guys. It was so awesome. And we got in there like, so check-in was supposed to be like at 2, and then the crafting room was opened at 3, and we got there a little after 3. It was still filling up. We couldn't really find a spot for everyone in our Discord group to sit with us, so all of us kind of sat in different spots and stuff like that. But we got like our little name, we got our like little badges, we gotten like named like little tags with locations. I was in Turks and Caicos, and stuff like that, and that was supposed to be like for doorbell prizes later on. But yeah, like we got settled in, and I gave Mackenzie her birthday gift early, and she opened it and she loved it. At least I think she loved it. I mean, like, she acted like she did, so let's, you know, I keep my fingers crossed. I got her like a mug, since she likes the Akator series and stuff like that. I got her a mug about it, and then like I also gotten her a pin, like an enamel pin that spins, like, so it has an arrow that lands to like one more chapter or go to bed, you know, or go to sleep. And I think it lands mostly on the chapter kind of thing. So so I got her that as well. And that was like inside the mug. So but yeah, so I was just like, here's your birthday. Well, part 1 of her birthday gift. You're still getting something else. Mackenzie, you're still getting another gift. Let's see. I know, this is still Thursday, and I still have a ton of stuff to talk about. Goodness. But yeah. We did that. We set up, and we started diamond painting. You know, I was sitting next to her. I will say, oh my god, those chairs. Oh man, as the days got on, my sciatica got worse and worse. I was in agony at the end of it. I will say that. I am better prepared. If we go again next year, I am better prepared. I am bringing a cushion. I am bringing a 3rd suitcase. I am not going to skimp out. I am going to bring a seat cushion, and I am going to sit on it. And I am going to bring hoodies instead. I was like, okay, we'll just do my cardigan stuff. No, I'm bringing my hoodies. I want to be in my comfort zone. So... but I'm better prepared. So, but yeah, so like, you know, people started coming in. I got to start meeting my Discord friends. It was like so great, saying hi, you know, just, it was so fantastic. And I will be doing a video about what I got at the retreat, by the way, like from friends, like the swag bag, prizes, what I bought, etc. You know, all of that. I know. But yeah, I bought 6 bags of Skittles, Should have brought all 9, but I brought 6 bags of Skittles, and I've been passing them out. I gave 1 bag to Charmaine. I gave 1 bag to Mackenzie, so they had bags for themselves, and then started kind of just slowly, moving around, giving people bags here and there, that kind of thing. And then, goodness, I also been, like, I had these, actually I have it right here. So I had these little bottles that I gave all my Discord friends, and to have, so that they had like little trash, like a trash container for their drills and stuff like that, or if they wanted something to use it for something else. But yeah, I started doing that to all my friends. I got little gifts from my friends as well. Charmaine gave out these little gift bags that I can't wait to show you guys. They're so adorable. I love them so much. And then things that I ordered, like I got my drills that day. And then stuff that I ordered from Alyssa. She got and gave me my stuff too that I bought for Jaina and things like that. And then my new nameplate, guys. So here's my new nameplate. I know it's pink instead of purple, but it's so pretty. I love it so much. So I had to order a new nameplate from Shire Shenanigans, because my old nameplate, and it was my fault entirely, got trapped in this in the arm of this stand, this recording stand actually, and it snapped clean in half. I was so mad at myself, and I tried to glue it and it didn't work. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to order a new one, and this time I'll order it in pink so it shows up a little bit better. Even though I love the purple and teal, I love that color combination so much. I feel like this would be a bit easier to see when I'm diamond painting and stuff like that. It's a little bit brighter, a little bit in your face kind of thing. But yeah, it was just it was so much fun. And then let's see, we we had dinner over at the retreat. So once more of our Discord friends and stuff started showing up, we had dinner, and when we got to the dinner hall, oh my goodness, I had to take pictures. So there was this big giant rooster just standing there, like not a metal one, not like the ones that you see like at like home improvement stores or like farmers places and stuff like that. Not those metal ones. This was the one. This was even bigger. I don't know if I'll put a picture in here or not. I'll have to get permission from my friends to make sure that if it's okay to show their faces and stuff like that. But it was so gigantic, and it was just like, oh my god. And of course, the childish humor. Well, I would say childish, but we were all like, hee, chicken, the other word. But anyway. But we all started posing and taking pictures around it. It was hilarious. And we had dinner, and it was just kind of funny because it was like chicken Alfredo and stuff like that. And there wasn't a really big portion, but that was okay. I was not that hungry. And we finally started settling in, and we get back upstairs, and started getting introductions going out. The retreats officially started, that kind of thing. It was so fun. And that's when they started passing out the swag bags, and oh my gosh, there was so much stuff in it. I will say that I am missing one thing. I don't know if it was missing the entire time, or if like it got lost from TSA, because they did check my check-in bag. So got a notice of that, so yay. Anyway, but yeah, but we started getting our swag bags passed out. And then of course the retreat painting that I paid for, I thought I didn't pay for it. I thought I didn't order it. Like so I am, like, my brain has not been the best. I have been dealing with brain fog, and I thought it was just like some sort of fever dream, and I didn't order the diamond painting. But then Alyssa said I did, and I was like, oh, oh crap. And I was like, because I ordered it, but I haven't paid for it yet. So I was like, oh, I got to get on to that, you know. So I paid for my retreat painting, like, you know, a day or two before the retreat and everything. So I got my painting. So, and I ordered enhancement drills for it already. I already ordered the enhancement drills. I'm like, yes, you know, so excited. So, so yeah, anyway. So I get, we get that all passed out at the end of, you know, after dinner and everything, and we're settling down, and then it's just like we start talking about doing a Buc-ee's run that night. I'm like, well, I need distilled water for my CPAP machine, and you know, I know I was told that I could ask, you know, one of the other girls there that drove, because they have a CPAP as well, but I didn't want to be bothering them for their water and stuff like that. So anyway, we made a Buc-ee's run late at night. It was like past 9 o'clock. I think it was almost like 11 o'clock at night. I don't remember. It was so exhausting, but it was an experience. Oh my gosh. Like, it was an experience. I was just like, holy cow, because there was just so much to see. Going around. And my first trip there, I went more than once. I went twice, but my first trip, I got this little fidget dragon. So now it's my little protector. It was my protector during the whole retreat, but now I have him laying here on my diamond paintings and stuff like that. I'm like keeping him right there. But it was so funny because like we were there. I was with Tiffany. I was with Angela. And then I was with Charmaine, and Nicole, not my daughter Nicole, but Nicole from Shire Shenanigans. It was so funny. I had to go my daughter Nicole whenever we were talking about stuff. And anyway, we get there, and it was so funny when we parked at Buc-ee's. When we parked over there, we parked in front of the statue of Buc-ee. It was like fate. And we took pictures around Buc-ee. Oh my god, it was so funny. Oh, I'll see if I can post a picture here if I get permission from my friends. I'll have to make sure to have, you know, just to make sure. But it was just oh my goodness, it was oh man, I had a blast. But we, like I said, we went in the store, and Charmaine actually started acting like a mom towards all of us. I was like, oh man, I was like a kid in a candy store, to be honest. And I was like, ooh, you know, like, and she was just like, no, you don't need all that fudge. I'm like, but I want the fudge. But we did not get the fudge. I had one piece of fudge. I bought one. She said I could get one, and then I was told I wasn't allowed to get the cotton candy. I was like, no. I got my distilled water while we were there, and then like one of the things I was wanting was the lemon crisp cookies, which I bought, and then I also bought beaver nuggets because that was something I wanted to try for the kiddos and stuff like that. So I bought that as well, and I was so disappointed. Buc-ee's, or at least this one, didn't have any Pepsi products. I don't know if that's a thing for all Buc-ee's or just that one, but I was so mad. And especially since I was when I realized when we were back at the retreat that I was just surrounded by Coke drinkers. Everyone just drank Coca-Cola, and they're like, that's the superior product. I'm sorry. I know Pepsi tastes sweeter, but that's because it's great. It tastes so good. I love it. It doesn't burn my throat. I will drink I will drink Coca-Cola products, but I prefer Pepsi. Although I do like Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper is pretty darn tasty. I will say that, especially blackberry. But I am a Pepsi girl through and through. So anyway, we get back there. Natalie, like from I'll link everyone's YouTubes, like everyone's YouTube channels that I announced. Like some of them aren't don't have a channel or anything like that. But the ones that do, I will link those down below. But anyway, Natalie's all like, did you guys get kidnapped? Are you lost? Because we were taking a while over at Buc-ee's. It was just, like I said, it was an experience. We didn't visit the bathrooms. So I don't know how they were. But my husband, you know, in the future, spoiler alert, he did. He says that they were really clean. But anyway, but yeah, we get there. I bought some Coca-Cola for Mackenzie because she said to get her a couple of Cokes. And then I was like, I could not stay up. I passed out like right before 12. I was like, I am exhausted. My body went, we're crashing. And of course, this is like an hour, where I live, it's an hour ahead, so like it was technically almost 1 my time, even though it was almost 12 over there at Dallas. But I was just like, I'm tired, I'm gonna pass out. And passed out I did. Like, so did Natalie, honestly. She passed out as well. We both could not hang. We both live close by. Like, we both live on the East Coast and everything. Although Mackenzie, who also, she works night shift though, but she stayed up late every night. Like, man, I tried so hard during this whole retreat to stay up, but I just cannot hang. It's just like, and at one point she called me a grandma. It was just joking, you know, but I'm like, I am a grandma. My body's falling apart and I go to bed early. Although, like, I was still used to school time. I'm still set in school time. It's just, it feels like, and I don't know if I'm going to switch to late night shift like I was going to this summer, but like now that my husband is going into work, he's waking up around the same time that we normally would wake up when we take the kids to school, and that kind of wakes me up. And yeah, I can go back to bed, but it's just like, at this point, I'm thinking like, should I just go, just keep my normal bedtime schedule at this point, so that way it's not going to bother me when I have to switch back to, school time schedule, or something like that. So yeah, anyway, passed out around 12, and I am going to take a short break, even though it won't be a short break for you guys, to check up on the kids and everything. Okay, kids are doing great. Decided to move my camera over a little bit while I was away, and prep to next section, because I'm almost done with this section. So actually, to let you guys know, I am like 2 rows away, so I gotta finish this row and then the next row, and I am done with this diamond painting. So exciting. So so yeah, like, we finally get through Thursday. Holy cow, like I said, there's just so much stuff that was going on. I hope I'm not boring you guys. But anyway, so Friday comes around. I wake up early, of course. Like, it's 7:30 their time, which would be like 8:30 my time on the East Coast. And I started like sending pictures to my husband about my flight, the food that I got there, and then I also showed them pictures of the little fidget dragon that I bought, which of course the kids were all like, oh. So these were like $10 over at Buc-ee's, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get them some fidget dragons, but I started looking on Amazon instead, because they break stuff. I didn't want to spend $10 for something that they break, so about for the same price I bought a 3-pack, to get sent to them for the next day. So I was like, okay, so that way you guys are doing well and all that stuff. But yeah, so they love all the pictures that I sent them of the clouds that I was in, and above, and this, basically all the, everything that I sent them, like what I could. I even showed them the picture of the big chicken, with my friends in there, like, just so they could go, wow. Hubby decided that he was going to take them to the trampoline park that day, because the plan originally was they were going to go to a carnival. Oh, also I had to turn on the fan, so if you do hear like a low humming sound or something, that's probably the fan in the background because it has started to get hot here. I know I'm wearing long sleeves. I could change out of short sleeves, but I prefer long sleeves. And like I'm sitting by a window where the sun's like baking, so it gets a little hot when the doors close. And I have it closed so that way if the kids get a little too rowdy, which they have, and I had to tell them to quiet down a bit, then it muffles the sound a bit. So anyway, but yeah, so he couldn't take them to the carnival because it was storming. It was pouring rain. So he's like, I'm taking them to the trampoline park instead. I'm like, okay, cool. We had breakfast. I got to go eat some breakfast while we were there. Got to pass by the giant chicken again. We were able to sit with some people. I let Mackenzie know that I had picked up some breakfast for her because she went to bed late and she was still in bed and then she told me that she was actually coming down. I was like, oh, okay. All right. So I had breakfast for someone, and someone else, basically messaged the Facebook group and said that I had breakfast, for whatever, and I basically placed it over at Lindsay's table and was like, free breakfast, here you go. So But yeah, so I got to sit, we got to talk a bit. It was fun. Tiffany went to Buc-ee's like 4 times once during the whole retreat. So she went to Buc-ee's and I gave her a diamond painting, and one of the things was like, she would not take no for an answer when she said she would feel bad if she just took the diamond painting for free. So I said, fine, you owe me a drink, kind of thing. So the night before, like when we went to Buc-ee's, went all together, she got I was originally going to get a Pepsi, but like I said, they don't have any Pepsi products, which, what the heck. But I went, okay, I'm going to get a water, and she'd gotten a Smart Water for me, and I never had Smart Water before. So she's like, basically try it. If you don't like it, I'll get you another drink. I'm like, no, right? But anyway, I liked it. And I asked her to pick me up some, and she's like, okay. And then of course Mackenzie's like, get me a 6-pack of Coca-Cola. The 6-pack of Coca-Cola showed up, but none of my water. She forgot my water. No, and she felt so bad, and I was like, stop, don't feel bad, please don't, right? But she did a second Buc-ee's run that day, and gotten my water that time around. Got 2 bottles of Smart Water. I was like, and she would not let me pay her, so I had to tip her, right? And this is where it's not as PG, all right? So she was not taking the money. I'm like, take the money. She's like, not. I saw Mackenzie do this, so I decided to do the same thing. Basically, I shoved the money in her shirt, right? Like, take the dang money, right? And then I got chastised by Charmaine. Not because I did that, but because I didn't do it properly. And I was like told that there was a method, and I was shown the 2-finger method. So it was like the 2-finger method, and it had to be powerful. And I was just like, okay. I was blushing red. Everyone was laughing. It was a good time, but oh my god, my face was just so red. And, I do read a lot of books. I read a lot, but it's still like, I'm just still embarrassed very easily. So, but yeah, I was like chastised about that. And she's like, I want you to show me that you learned your lesson. I'm like, no, I learned. I was just like, nope, yep. Oh man, I was just like, I'm good. I got it. So, but yeah, anyway. So yeah, that was during dinner. So like, oh my goodness. And then when we got back, everyone was like chilling and stuff like that. I needed to stretch. Like I said, those chairs are awful. They're terrible. So I told Mackenzie at one point, I'm like, I need to stretch. I need to stretch my legs. So I went to the D-stash table to kind of just peruse to see what was there, like the freebie area. And one of the YouTubers that were there, I'm not going to name names because it's just like, it sounds snobbish and stuff like that. But she said hi to me, and I was like, introduced herself. And I didn't want to be like, I know who you are. Like, how stalkerish does that sound? But anyway, like, I introduced myself as Jessica. I didn't tell her I was like the stealthy craft or anything, because that's not what I'm there at the retreat. I'm there to have fun and just, enjoy my time with my friends and everything. But anyway, I sit down, I fangirl at Mackenzie a little bit, like, oh my God, like that. And, I go about my day, right? I start noticing that my subscribers started going up, and I'm like, why is that going? Why? Turns out during the messenger chat, Mackenzie, is my wingman apparently, and she tells it, because someone was asking about for YouTube channels and stuff like that, so she tells them about my channel, after everyone else does, and so it's like, oh, so that's how I got subscribers, right? Anyway, we're we're sitting there. And Mackenzie tells this lady, that I'm just like, hi, I'm Jessica. She goes, do you know who this is, right? Right, and she goes, this is Stealthy, right? And like her face drops and everything, and I was just like, I'm blushing red. And I'm telling Mackenzie, stop it. She's announcing to everyone who I am. I mean, there's other YouTubers there. Like, I'm just a drop in this big ocean, okay? To me, it's just like, I'm just this teeny tiny drop. I'm just like, stop it. Oh my God. Like, I'm turning red, and I wear my beanies. Like like I said, I always wear my beanies because I'm embarrassed about how my hair looks right now. And immediately, as people are staring at me, I just pull the beanie over my face and I just hide, and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed, right? And she was laughing. She thought it was the most hilarious thing ever. I'm just like, you're so mean, stop it, so. Yeah, that was a bit of an embarrassment for me. Yeah, but yeah, during that whole time, oh my goodness, it was just like I said, I had so much fun. But during that time, there was also the live stream that was going to happen later on that day. So the live stream was like for the 7th anniversary of Diamond Art Club's 7th anniversary sale, right? And I wasn't going to buy anything until I saw the Chrysabug, and you know me, and you know Chrysabug. If it's a Chrysabug, I'm going to buy it. It goes in my cart, my wallet goes out. I got it. Along with 2 other diamond paintings. So I only bought 3, and I'll show you guys that as well when sometime this week too. But yeah, there were shenanigans going on. They had a conga line, and I was going to join the conga line, and then I chickened out. I went, no. I sat my butt back down, and just watched everyone else kind of went through, and go on the you got to see them on, going through on the video. It was so funny. We were watching it as it was happening, because they closed the door and they were telling us to behave and stuff like that. And especially looking at a certain couple of us, that was in the Discord that was saying that we were going to cause chaos and stuff like that. So there was some joking like we were going to snort ABs in front of Katy and make faces and stuff like that, to try and make them laugh. But we behaved. We behaved. We did not act insane. But yeah, I was actually on my best behavior, is all I'm gonna say, compared to some people. But anyway, I watched a lot of this stuff happening through the video, because we had a big TV pulled up in the craft room while the door was closed, so we could watch all of it, and it was just so funny. But yeah, the conga line happened, and oh my god, that was hilarious. Oh my gosh, I kind of regret not doing it, but at the same time I don't regret it, because I wasn't wearing a really like nice shirt. So I was wearing my Carlac shirt that day, and it has a big old F word on it, and I'm just like, well, I'm not going to be going out there and having that on my shirt, so even though I wore my cardigan and stuff like that, but it's just like, nah. But so I'm kind of glad I chickened out. Let's see. But yeah, I stayed up until almost 1 o'clock that night, so about 2 o'clock my time. So yeah, I stayed up pretty late that time around. Yee. Oh, okay. Whew. All right, we're getting through this. Okay, gotta scoot my butt back up again because I'm sliding out. Okay. So yeah, passed out around 1 o'clock. Like after all of that, oh man, and then woke up early again. Like my body was not letting me sleep in. I was trying so hard to get some sort of sleep in. So this time around it was Saturday, and at this point I start getting homesick. I'm scrolling through Facebook in the morning. I wake up. Mackenzie, of course, she has stayed up late once again, and she comes in, like we try and be quiet for each other. So we were like, when I wake up, I'm trying to be all sneaky and stuff, like getting dressed, and then when she comes in, she's trying to be sneaky, getting ready for bed, that kind of thing. And we also took showers at different times. I took a shower at nighttime before I go to bed, like, so I take a shower and then I go back out and join everyone in the crafting room, and then she takes a shower in the morning, like when I'm already out and about, so it was good. But yeah, I was doom scrolling on Facebook a bit, missing my family, and then I see something. So, told you, there's storms happening over at where my family is, right? Where my husband and stuff is. They went to a trampoline park because, storming, right? I see a video of a condensation funnel happening, right? And it touched down. And it was in the area where my husband was at the trampoline park. It was like right around that area, and right around that time when he sent me a video of like heavy rain pour, like it was pouring like really bad. They were like they were in a fast food line ordering food, and it started pouring like really bad, and it was like pelting hard and stuff like that. And I was just like, I immediately was like, okay, I'm awake, I'm up. I was raging, well, not raging, but I was like, what the heck? I was like, ooh. Right? So it did touch down. It did become a tornado, especially in the next county. I'm like, at this point, I'm looking at pictures. It was definitely a tornado in the next county. I'm like, oh my God, my husband is in so much trouble, like that. And I'm trying to call him. He's not answering. I don't know if he knew or not, but I go ahead and get breakfast at this point, and I'm still like, I'm gonna give him what for, right? And my husband, he loves to rile me up, guys. He loves to, to just say things to get me all aggravated. So I finally reach him, right? I reached out to Nicole, and she's like, he's asleep right now. I'm like, okay. And was telling her about the whole story, and she goes, oh yeah, there was a mesocyclone. She's like doing things, and there was a cloud that had starting to appear like funnel shape, and we were at the mesocyclone area, and blah blah. And she had all the terminology. She was so like I said, she's wanting to be a storm chaser. She wants to be a meteorologist as well. That does storm chasing, so she's all like, telling me about it, and I'm just like, ooh, my husband's in trouble, right? So I finally get him, right? And he's all like, you know, we did drive by a funny looking cloud. Like I said, he knows the ways to try and rile me up. And I'm like, a funny looking cloud. You know, I'm pretty sure people are like, you know, this quiet little girl, you know, and she's like raising her voice. And I'm like, a funny looking cloud? You know, oh, I was not happy. And he's just laughing. And, you know, man. But anyway, yeah, and I'm like, that was a tornado. He goes, nah. He goes, it wasn't even that close. And, you know, Nicole tells me it was, you know, and I'm like, like a funny looking cloud. I was like, oh man, ooh, right? So anyway, he's like, okay, well, I gotta get ready. He goes, you can chastise me another time. Because they were having a sleepover. Michael was having one of his friends come over for a sleepover. But my husband did invite the kids' parents over for dinner, and then also that they were going to like to the arcade area. So before all this, so he had to get ready to go and do that. So I was like, okay, you know, love you, you know, have fun, that, you know, all that stuff, right? And I'm like, fine, you got out of it, right? So he does that, right? He does all that. He takes them out to, apparently they go to another pizza place this time around again. So they had a lot of pizza. But anyway, so that happens, and then at that point I didn't really want to eat dinner. Nothing against nothing against them. It's just that I didn't, the food didn't sound appetizing. I didn't really want to eat that. And from some people, they said that I made the best choice. So we went and did a Buc-ee's run. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I am going to stay up late tonight. I am going to stay up late. We're going to do this thing. So we get there. We make, like I said, we make another Buc-ee's run. Tiffany, I think, comes with us as well. Goodness, who else comes? You know, a couple of people did come with us. I don't remember who showed up. Elissa did. Let's see who else came with us. Goodness. I think Charmaine came again. Angela was the one that took us. Katy, not from Diamonds and Washi, but a different Katy. Oh, and she got me this cute little, she was passing out tweezers. She made these cute little tweezers. Where are they? Where is it? Here it is. So we got these, she was giving everyone tweezers and stuff like that. So got these, I picked these out. They're so pretty. I love it. But she came with us as well to get herself some drinks. But yeah, I was like, I'm determined to stay awake. I am going to stay awake during this. I'm going to stay up late. I stayed up later than I normally did, but not as late as everyone else. Oh, and I'm just so mad at myself. But anyway, I get there, I buy, and now I'm addicted because I have some right here. I got myself 2 monster Java monsters, and then I grabbed a soda and more bottled water. So, and then also I saw a muffin while I was there, and we saw Bucky as well. So we got our picture taken with Bucky. And then let's see what else. But yeah, I saw a cranberry orange muffin, and I'm like, I have to have that. And my eyes were bigger than my stomach, and I grabbed 2, thinking, you know, I'll eat one for one day and one the next day. It was so big, I couldn't eat it all, and you know, I couldn't eat the entire thing. But I got that. Let's see. And then I also grabbed myself a pulled pork sandwich, so I have something to munch on for dinner that night. So that was the whole point of going there, was just to get some dinner and stuff like that. But before the whole thing, excuse me, I bumped into the camera, I'm sorry. Before the whole thing, there was this shirt, and I'll see if I can get a picture of that for you guys, because my daughter's already, you know, I already gave it to my daughter. So it was like Duck Duck Jeep, and it was so cute. And you know, so there's a game that you know about the ducks on the Jeeps and stuff like that. Well, there's also a thing that my my kids and I do, and Nicole is definitely a big fan of this game. Is like, because there was a point where I was like, geez, there's just so many Jeeps around, and my husband wasn't believing me until I started pointing out there's a Jeep, there's a Jeep, there's a Jeep, you know, that kind of thing. And he bought me a clicker for my stocking stuffer for Christmas. And now whenever I'm in the car, I click whenever I see a Jeep. So, like, you know, basically counting how many Jeeps there are, and you know, that's around our neighborhood, blah blah blah, that kind of thing. So I was just like, oh my gosh, this shirt is perfect for Nicole. So, because she loves to join in on this. So I got that shirt for her. Came back and we had to get ready for group pictures after dinner. So I basically ate my sandwich in the craft room while everyone went downstairs for dinner, which was a good thing because also I was starting to deal with a headache. My headache was starting to form, and I didn't really want to. As much as I loved everyone, it was so loud. It's a small craft room, and it was getting to be really loud at times. And you know, I'm a big introvert, and my social battery was kind of starting to drain a bit. And I was just like dealing with a headache. So I was just like, I just need some quiet. I just need a little bit of quiet. That's all I did. So I was just like, okay, shh, right? So it got better, and we also did like self-care class the day before, if I remember. And Mackenzie got sunburnt. Oh my gosh! But we had to go back out, and. Oh yeah, so we did Nicole did come with us because I just remembered this thing. So, all right, I was told it was okay to tell this story. So, when we went to go to Buc-ee's, we're going down the elevator, right? And someone points out on Nicole's shirt, Shire Shenanigan, right? That they was wondering what her shirt was. Now she was wearing like this apron type suspender kind of thing on top of it. So she went to go show it to this other person, and she slides her hands underneath her suspenders part to expose the shirt. So, but the way she did it was like, it just looked almost indecent. And as the elevator doors open, there's a priest as she's doing the motion. And it was just like, the elevator gets so quiet. It just total shh. Alright? And we all walk out quietly. It was just like, oh my gosh, right? And then so when we are doing our group pictures, we all get changed into our shirts and stuff like that, so we can do like the group picture and everything. And we're going down again, right? Down the elevator. This time it stops on the second floor, right? And it opens, and it's the same priest, and he's all like, I can hear you girls, you know, like, because we're like really loud and chatty on the elevator and stuff like that. And like, Nicole just sinks to the floor. She just sinks. And it was just like, oh my god. And it was just such a funny, it was so funny. I mean, like, there was more to it, but that's just, oh my gosh. You have to be there. That's all I would have to say. But yeah, so it was funny. It was funny just immediately how red she got, and she just sunk to the floor. And then, you know, like when we all left, it was like we were like kind of laughing and giggling and stuff like that. But anyway, we get our pictures taken, you know, in the hot sun. And we got back inside and everything like that. And that's when so we were doing doorbell prizes. So at this point I haven't won anything, and you know, it was, you know, not a big deal. I was like, but then, you know, we were starting getting some really big prizes, and you know, you're supposed to win at least 2 things, right? So they announced that there was a Moonie made, and it was Cat Fedora Nightfall. And then they announced Turks and Caicos. Like, they spin the wheel and it's Turks and Caicos, right? And oh my gosh, I was like, yay! I'm pretty sure I got some people jealous, you know, and all that stuff, but it's like, yay! I have never bought myself a cat fedora yet. I've been planning to, and now I have it, yay! So, I'm excited. I'm so excited. And there's supposed to be like a cat fedora event that's coming up in the future, so I have a diamond painting for it now. Yay! I'm so excited. But yeah, so yeah, I won that. That was my first prize. I was so excited. I was like, yay! Oh my gosh, I was so excited. Cause and then at that point I started looking at what's in my bag. I started packing a little bit, actually. I know it was kind of funny, like I already started packing and there's still like another day left, but I wanted to make sure I knew exactly how much room was in my suitcase at this point. I'm like, I'm going to be prepped. I want to make sure I know exactly how much I got. So anyway, I stayed up late by drinking the monster drink and the soda I had. So I was able to stay up till 2 o'clock that night, which was such a good thing. And there was so much more shenanigans that were happening. There was like some late night craziness that I will not talk about here. But oh my goodness. But as I'm like standing around and stretching, I go over to the other D-stash table, the one that's, you know, for sale and stuff like that, and I see this pen, and I was just like, I keep thinking about it, and then I decided to go buy it, right? So I got myself my first ever Swampwood pen. It's it's purple and green. It makes me think of Luna Moths, and I love it so much. It's so pretty, and I was just like, then I realized, I used the bank account, like, because I had to go through PayPal. I used the bank account one instead of my credit card, so I had to come clean and tell Chris that I bought a pen the next day. But anyway, that night, Elissa, she's like, she grabs the some of her stuff that she had for sale, and she said that we could start, you know, getting pens and stuff like that, and, you know, and everything. So I got a bunch of pens, and I asked her, like, are you sure it's okay? You know, I was like trying to give her cash. She wasn't accepting it, you know, and everything. I was just like, are you sure? You know, like, because I now doubled my pen stash is all I'm going to say. I've doubled it. It is, oh my gosh. It is so much bigger now, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I have so many pens now. But there, a lot of them are now, they fit my hand. I did give away a couple of pens, but not the amount that she gave. But yeah, I was just like, I was so excited. And also I found a pen over at the freebie table that was just the right grip for me, so as well. So I was just like, and I like the feel of it. I like, oh man, this feels so nice. But anyway, so yeah, I stayed up late. I stayed up till 2, and I promptly passed out. Of course, you know, all my other friends, they were able to stay up later than me. I was like, I can never ever stay up. I tried so hard, and I just couldn't. And they got to chit chat a bit more than you know, and everything. So anyway, I wake up. I got to sleep a little bit later, but I still woke up early. I didn't go to breakfast with everyone. I decided to eat my muffin in the crafting room, and that's when I realized I couldn't really even finish it. It was just so big. And then at that point, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be able to finish this tomorrow when we're leaving, because we're going to be leaving tomorrow, and I'm not going to be able to eat this at the airport. So I was just like, okay, all right, well then what am I going to do? So I'm kind of people watching. Oh, and the day before, no, 2 days before, like, so on Friday, I actually finished my first diamond painting. I finished Purple Crystal, and then I went back to work on Summertime Magic. So I had my first finish, but I didn't ring the bell on that one. I was too embarrassed to do that one. But anyway, so But yeah, June 1st on Sunday was like, I'm still working on Summertime Magic. I'm almost done. I'm getting close to finish. But I'm people watching as I'm like kind of munching around. It was so funny. Like Charmaine wakes up and I see her walk by and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm just like, "Just sitting here." You know, everyone's like snoozing. She literally went to go and get breakfast and then went right back to bed. It was so funny. Like, that's what a lot of people did. I saw Jade do the same thing. She comes in, you know, she's not dressed up yet, you know, hair, you know, she got breakfast and then she went back in. And then later on, like, I had to send out a warning to everyone because I was like, Jade is looking fabulous. Like, she did her hair, she curled her hair, she wore this beautiful green dress with a little corset kind of thing underneath it. I thought it looked awesome. She looked, oh, and I knocked the camera. She looked fabulous. Like, oh my God. Like, she was stunning. So I was just like, I warned everyone, like, that be aware. She is like, I mean, like, she looks awesome any other day, but like she looked extra that day. So was letting everyone know, and then we got some news that Mooney Maid actually showed up, like, and she was going to be joining us for the day. I was like, oh my gosh, right? So at this point, it's getting close to lunchtime, and I'm like, okay, let me go and wake up Mackenzie. You know, let's see if she wants to eat some lunch. If not, if she wanted me to get her some lunch or anything. She's like kind of slowly waking up as I'm like, hey, letting her know what's going on. And then the words, I should have said this first before anything else. I'm like, hey, Mooney Maid's here. She jumped out of bed so fast. She's like, oh my God, I gotta get ready. I gotta go see her, and I'm like, I should have said that first. That should have been my first thing to say. It was so funny to see her jump out of bed to, so excited to see Mooney Maid and everything. It was like, but anyway, we get ready for lunch. We had like Jason's deli that day, and we start swapping horror labor stories / maternity stories / kids, like basically doctor's visits, and everything, around the table. I don't know why it got to that, but I even joined in with my own moments, like, and everything. So but it was kind of nice to know I'm not alone on some of this stuff. Like, especially with my IUD story. Oh my gosh. Like, that was still think about that. That was so painful. Anyway, so got through lunch, then we get back in, and we have like the showcase. It's like the Fender showcase that was happening later on that day. And I was already at that point, my hips hurting and stuff like that. So when we get there, I was good. I behaved. I only got myself 2 diamond paintings because my husband's all like, buy 1 or 2 things. So I bought 2 diamond paintings, and then I bought 1 cover minder. So I did buy 2 or 1 things. I bought 2 from one place and 1 from the other. But there was such a long line over with Mooney Maid. I was just like, I kind of stood in line originally, but then my hips started hurting way too much, and I had to go and sit down. And I was going to come back down, but then I decided I should probably not, just in case I did win any other prizes and stuff like that. And I wanted to make sure my suitcase was going to be able to fit everything, because it was starting to get a little full. Like, my 2 suitcases were starting to get a little packed, and I had to make sure my CPAP machine still fit in there. I knew that it's considered a medical piece of equipment, but they still can tell you there's still a chance of it being told to check it in and stuff like that in case there's not enough room on the plane. So yeah, we finish up. Everyone's like, packing up. I had so much fun. Like, I try and behave. But right now, I did send in a quote. Well, not a quote. I sent in a request for a quote for a cross-stitch conversion to Jade. So we shall see. Like, I'm waiting to hear back from her, because I want to get this cross-stitch. I want to get this one thing started working on. I've been talking about it for like 2+ years. And I'm like, no, we're going to do it now. Because I asked her questions. I got out of my shell a little bit. I actually talked to people, and like I gave Skittles to everyone. Like like by the end of the whole trip, I gave a bag to every table so that way they could have Skittles. So I was just like, I felt a little bit more sociable than I normally was, but oh my gosh, it was a blast. I know I keep saying that. It was just, I had so much fun, and I loved hanging out with all my friends. It didn't feel awkward at all. I mean, well, kind of, there was moments at it, especially like when I felt like I was almost kind of spacing out when at times, but anyway, I did finish on Saturday, like Saturday night, but technically it was June 1st. I finished my summertime magic, actually. I forgot about that. And I got a picture taken, and I was hiding behind my pictures and stuff like that, but it was so pretty. But I think I did, but some people told me that they were, that the summertime magic enabled them to go and order some for themselves. So Jay didn't have it in stock, but so they ordered it instead. But it was just like, it's so pretty. It really is pretty. I love it. It's got crystals and stuff. I can't wait to show you guys in the June of month's review. So that one will be showcased. I am so excited. But I also started working on Candy Cat, and I finished that in a day. I finished that at the end of the retreat, like after dinner, I think. And I like right around after the Fender showcase, if I remember correctly, and I rang the bell on that one too. And I was like hiding behind it, and I was told to smile and show my face, and I was like, stop it, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I was just like, I had so much fun, guys. I really did. But then after that, I started packing up. So we went through the doorbells. We also had a raffle ticket. We were doing a raffle thing for St. Jude. So there was like 3 diamond paintings that were up on the raffle table, and I didn't win any of them, but that's okay. That's okay. Me and my other friend were like, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it's not, it's not. So I actually slept in till 8:30 the next day. I packed that day. Oops, I'm falling back. Man, this chair keeps sliding me back. But I started packing up after the doorbell prizes were all done and everything, and I was starting to be sad, just like starting to, be like, no, the retreat's over, we're leaving tomorrow, all that. And it was so funny because Mackenzie's trying to fit stuff, Natalie's, she's trying to fit stuff in her suitcase. They both only packed one suitcase. They definitely learned their lesson. They're not going to pack one next year. So it was just fun, not funny, haha. Well, I don't know. It was a little amusing, but at the same time, it's like, I hope it fits, because it's kind of, you want to make sure it's not over the weight limit too. But yeah, it was just like, I think both of them had to have one of our friends ship it out to them instead, ship some diamond paintings out. So, because definitely, I know Mackenzie definitely did. I'm pretty sure Natalie had to as well. And we started saying our goodbyes to everyone. It was just like, starting to say goodbyes to everyone at the retreat. Oh, the night before, we also took like a group Discord picture. So we had had everyone together and took a group Discord picture. It was so cute. I love it so much. And then anyway, I gave everyone hugs. Like, I hugged everyone, but I asked first, I'm like, is it okay for me to give you a hug? I gave so many hugs, and I said goodbye to everyone, and then we went off our way. We had to turn in the rental car. So, but on the way there, we found out that our other group of friends who left earlier that day, They had to leave like early in the morning, so it was like when it was dark, and not a car, but a rock jumped out in front of them. The way things were set there was just it's just like the way the driveway was set. It just the rock was like way too close to the road and stuff like that. So yeah, they're fine. They're fine. It's just that a rock decided, hey, let's just be in front of you. Is the best way to say it. But everyone's fine. But they were already at the airport. We're all, Mackenzie, Angela, and I were like kind of like the last ones, not the last ones of our group, because there was others, but they were going to the other airport instead. And we were going to the Dallas Fort Worth one. And at this point, like, my gate had already changed a few times, and I was just like, what is going on? Luckily, it was still staying in Terminal C. But we had to go and check in our bags. So, but unfortunately, Mackenzie was in a different terminal, so she had to go check in at a different terminal. Angela and I were luckily still in the same terminal to check in. So, but the kiosk system was down, so we had to go through our respective lines and everything. I had the most hilarious customer service guy. So, like, when I got to the front, he's asking me, what I have, basically, going through the whole drill, like, you got this, and this, and no. And then he goes, do you have a partridge in a pear tree? And I'm like, no, but I think there might be a couple of doves in there, like a couple of turtle doves. And he starts laughing. And then, basically, then I go, how are you doing today? Because it was Monday, and I know how sometimes Mondays can be. And he goes, it could be better. It's my Wednesday. I'm like, ooh, just like sympathizing. And then his coworker next to him was like, it's my Friday. And he goes, excuse me one moment. And he turns, hides his mouth, like puts a hand to his mouth, and then puts his other hand by his head and sticks his tongue out at her. And she's all like, I'm going to get you in trouble. And I was like, I didn't see anything. It was funny. But anyway, thanked him and anyway, and told him that I hope his Monday/Wednesday got better. But it's like, it was nice to have someone like doing that. That was really nice. Anyway, so we go through the security check, and I made sure this time I put all my diamond painting stuff in my check-in bags instead. I was like, I'm not going to deal with being flagged again. I'm just I'm not doing it. But Angela, she got flagged again. She didn't, not for her light pad, but for the drills. So DP with sparklers was over there, like and so she bought a bunch of drills, like bubble drills and stuff like that. And apparently those come out, like explosives or something like that, but the guy didn't know what they were, and he was like, should I mark this as powder or miscellaneous? It was kind of like, what? Because they're like just little plastic, resin type beads kind of thing. You know, guys, what drills are, anyway. So finally got cleared for that. And let's see. We had to all meet up in Terminal B with the rest of our friends. So we had to go and find the shuttle, like the shuttle thing to go to Terminal B. So we got through the middle of the terminal, found that, went to that, and luckily everyone was like kind of sitting by a table. It was still a little bit of a walk, and we got to all hang out. It was so nice. We all got to hang out. Let me make sure I'm looking at that. But man, I did so much walking though during that whole time. So we hung out. I took a picture, and I'm hitting the camera again. And we spent a few hours. Like even though Charmaine left, we still spent a couple hours over there. Angela got me a Coke because I was like dying of thirst at that point. And we just kind of was like just hanging out until it was like our respective times to start moving to our own terminals, and then we started splitting ways. I actually did cry once, everyone split up. I started bawling. I teared up when I hugged Mackenzie goodbye and everything. And she was like, don't you dare cry. And I was just like, okay. And then like once everyone was gone, I started crying. I cried like a big baby. But yeah, during this whole time, I was getting updates on my phone. And my updates were all like, basically it was yelling at me. It was basically yelling at me, telling me when my gate changed 20 times, and at this point my gate was now C27. I was like, okay. So I get there, I sit down. It's still like about an hour and 10 minutes before my flight, and then I noticed, as I'm like sitting there for like 10 minutes or so, it changes to C24, and I'm like, ugh. Great, it changed again. I start walking to C24. It changes the moment I get there to back to the original, not original one, but one of the first changes that it did, and which was C39, the very last gate of this terminal. I'm just like, I was, just so mad. So I had to turn around. And this is where I was like, where's this, where's the fast walkway kind of thing, right? I had to walk all the way to the very last terminal. It was a good 10-minute walk, man. I was just so exhausted. I got there. I saw Angela. It was funny. It's just like, I should have gone there in the first place. Saw Angela and waved to her, said hi, let her know what was going on, and kept on walking. And I finally get there, and I was just like, you better not change anymore. I'm so tired. It's 40 minutes till I'm supposed to board. I'm exhausted. I was like, so tired. So we get to, finally the boarding happened, right? And it was like the scariest one of all. I was scared on the way there, but I calmed down. But oh my god, the flight back, it was so loud. It was so clanky sounding. And I couldn't hear the flight attendants very well this time around, compared to the first time. It was just, I was scared. And there wasn't turbulence. There was because they were moving around a lot more. It was very noisy compared to the other one. I don't know if it was an older one or what, but anyway, I was just like, I want to get home. I just want to get home. And we get back, and I'm at the very last gate again. So I'm in the Charlotte airport. I'm like, no. And then but I get a message on my phone that my baggage arrived earlier, and to please pick it up in the baggage office services, or whatever it was called. And I was just, and you guess what? That was on the opposite side of the terminal. And I had to leave until to go outside where I actually met my husband, to go to the bag services area. And I had to tell him I have to still go get my bag. And so he stood with me in a line to go pick up my bags, because it was just a long line. There was other people that was on my flight and stuff like that as well. Oh my god, guys, it was just I could not wait to get home. And then when we got to the car, he goes, I have good news and bad news. And I'm like, okay. Good news, we don't have to leave to the beach tomorrow, because I was already dreading the long drive and stuff like that, because I was already tired. And I'm like, okay. He goes, bad news, it's because we have no internet, and the only time the guys can come by the tech guys can come by is tomorrow evening. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. So we get home. He asked if I wanted to eat dinner. I didn't. I was like, nah, I'm good. I had my first meal on the plane again. It was chicken parm kind of thing. It was okay. I was just exhausted at that point. And we got home, and the kids, oh my god, Michael gave me the biggest hug ever. I'm just he missed me so much. I was like, I miss you too, little man. Like, all of them gave me such big hugs, but he ran. Like, the moment I came through that door, it was a running jump and just was like immediately huge hugs and stuff like that. So I started unpacking, got my bags upstairs, started unpacking. I took a shower, and then I was just like, I passed out. I passed out so hard. And I was like, I get to cuddle with my hubby. I get to be in my bed. I get to sleep on my pillow. Oh my goodness. And I fell asleep. I slept in. My husband and I started a load of laundry the next day. I pretty much kind of just chilled a bit. I checked to make sure the kids had their bags packed and ready to go for the beach, because we were technically at this point only staying 2 days. I was kicking myself while I was at the retreat because someone else was working on Manny, and they caught up to where I was and started surpassing me. And I was just like, oh man, I want to work on her. Well, I should have brought Manny with me. I was so mad. And then I was like, well, I'll bring Manny with me to the beach. But then when, my husband says that we're only going to be there for 2 days, I'm like, well, what's the point at this point? If it's compared to 3 days to 2 days, I was like, I'll keep Manny at home. I didn't want to start trying to move stuff around and stuff like that. So yeah, anyway. Started packing again after laundry was done. I just packed like small little diamond paintings. Like, I packed pastel potions. I packed a pastel night sky, like from Diamond Delights. I just, tiny little things that I could do during the entire trip. I was also doing origami stars, so I was doing like these little paper stars as well, kind of thing. I have my sticker by number book. That was what I was working like at the end of the retreat. When I finished Candy Cat, I was just like, once I cleaned up my station and stuff like that, there was still a few hours left, but I kind of just sat and talked to everyone there with my sticker by numbers. I was so tired. I was like half asleep talking to people during that time. My sticker placement was not good at all. Let's see. But yeah. Started repacking my bags. Internet came back at 4. So what happened, why we did not have internet, was that on Sunday my husband decided to trim the yard and stuff like that. They were going to go out and do the carnival that day, but my husband was just so tired. And instead they decided to kind of just do a little bit more yard work. They put stones around the mailbox this time around, and then also put flowers around the mailbox too. And then my husband started trimming bushes, and then at one point he saw something sticking out of the ground, and he just kind of tugged at it gently to see what it was. It turns out it was the fiber cable that belonged to our house. They didn't really bury it at all. It was just, and it came apart immediately the moment he kind of just went like that. So yeah, so they had to replace the cable, and then rebury it. So hopefully they dug a little bit deeper this time around. We shall see. Question mark. And then we went to bed early. And that day I decided not to deal with my CPAP. I kept my CPAP in my bag. I didn't bother taking it out at all. I just went, I'm going to sleep. I'm not gonna bother. Like, I put it up. I did use my CPAP the night before, but I decided I'm not bothering because we were waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I am going to stop for a moment because I hear my children. Okay. So yeah, so the very next morning. So this story might be a little bit shorter compared to how the rest of the compared to the retreat, because it involves my in-laws and stuff like that too. So we left at 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I'm right now black drills, so I need to get more black drills. So we woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning. We got the kids, changed into their clothes, and gave them some Dramamine to help with the car ride, because Nicole especially, she's sick. She gets car sick easy. and we basically told him to try and sleep the rest during the trip and everything. And I tried to sleep, but it didn't work very well. There was actually I woke up a few times right at the beginning. So like at one point there was a truck honked, as like almost like a semi truck honked, I think, and that woke me up like immediately, like. And apparently it was just like someone wasn't going fast enough or something like that, and was making the other guy angry, so he started honking. We were in the other lane, so, but close by, so it was just like, so that definitely startled me awake. And then I started snoozing off again, and Michael wakes me up in a panic, which makes me panic slightly, because he was like, "Where's Jana? I can't see Jana. I don't know where Jana is. She's not responding." And for a minute, I'm like, "Did we leave Jana behind? Oh my God," right? And then I remember, I just was talking to her as we were in the car. We were pulling out, and I'm like, "Does everyone have their shoes?" And she said yes. And I'm like, "Michael, she's asleep. She's asleep. That's probably why she's not responding to you. And it's dark, so you can't see her. She's right behind you." And it was just like, oh. And I'm like, okay. So, after that adrenaline, calmed down, I started nodding off again. And this was like all in the span of like 2 hours. So, and then I wake up to Christopher cursing, well, not cursing, more like, making that noise, because he missed a turn. And he had to backtrack and stuff like that. So he had to go and, figure out how to, get onto the road and stuff like that. So that was not fun. During the whole time, there was like some really scary storms. I was like, we better not be driving through another tornado. And at that point, my husband's like, "Oh, look, another funny looking cloud," thinking he's being hilarious. I'm like, "Not funny," Wouldn't be surprised, considering, to be honest, since we had to drive through Georgia and stuff like that, and everything. But yeah, it was just like, on the way there, because I gave up on sleeping after that. So on the way there, we saw a huge accident. Like all of a sudden traffic slowed down for a minute, and we're like, "What's going on?" And it literally, like, apparently the accident happened like moments before, because first responders weren't there yet. But as we drove past, that's when we heard the sirens and stuff like that. So it was like, oh, okay, good. Someone's already, coming in there and things like that. But it was a nasty accident. And then we finally arrived. So like I said, this side's going to be a little bit shorter. So it was only a couple of days. We get there. We didn't make lunch for the kids. We didn't pick up lunch, because I asked the kids, I'm like, "Are you able to handle waiting till dinner time, just snacking a bit, and instead of getting lunch?" And they all said yes, until they saw their Nana eating lunch. And then it's all of a sudden, "We want lunch too." And it's like, "But you just said." So we had to make some sandwiches. My husband took a nap during this whole time, because he stayed up and he was exhausted, so he wanted to have a little nap before we go out to eat. And at that point, when it was time to go eat, I decided to stay behind, because I'm peopled out. I was like, I was kind of done, like sensory overload, and I didn't want to deal with big crowds after the retreat, and then also having to go out, with being on the airport and stuff like that. I was just like, I'm tired. I'm gonna just take a nap, And take a nap I did. So I took a nap in the bedroom where there's like twin beds and stuff like that. And then, like, once I woke up, when everyone came back, we discussed about sleeping arrangements and stuff like that, and then we decided that I would sleep on the mattress, my husband would sleep on the couch, and the kids would take the bedroom with the two twin beds. So basically, Nicole got one bed, Jana got the other, and then we had a blow-up bed for, another air mattress for Michael to sleep in instead. So That was basically our sleeping arrangement during the entire trip. And oh my gosh, sleeping on an air mattress sucks, guys. I am no spring chicken. I cannot do an air mattress. Like, oh my god, my back is killing me. And then I had to have my CPAP machine too. So it was just like, we were sleeping in the living room and everything. So it was just like, ugh, no privacy or anything like that, you know. So I mean, like, nothing against my in-laws or anything. It's just like, you know, you have to do what you gotta do, what you gotta make work, you know what I mean? So, anyway, find out that my husband actually has work. So, during this whole time, my husband's supposed to have the entire week off except Monday. He was supposed to work Monday, right? And then he was supposed to have the rest of the week off. Found out, like, before I left for my retreat, he actually had to work Tuesday morning. So we were like, we're going to be leaving Tuesday afternoon was originally the plan. He instead works the entire Tuesday. Yeah, I know we had no internet, but his phone became a hotspot for work and stuff like that, and everything. So, goodness. Anyway, so so he apparently had to work more in the morning, and then he told us he also had work in the in the evening too once the kids went to bed. It was like, really? You know, not nothing against him. And I mean, like, it's not his fault, but it was just like, these people knew that he's on vacation and they're still monopolizing his time. So anyway, we the kids started kind of getting bored, and even though I was just so burnt out and exhausted, I didn't want them to just, you know, go insane from boredom and stuff like that. So I was just like, all right, guys, let's, you know, go change into your swimming outfits. Let's go, right? We're gonna just go swimming, and, you know, maybe go to the beach, you know, depending on how I feel, you know, stuff like that. So we went down to the beach and everything. Well, not down to the beach. We went down and started swimming. I kept an eye. I didn't even jump in the pool, to be honest. I just sat on the edge of the pool, and I kept an eye on the kids the entire time. Like, I was constantly, like, constant supervision. Like, I was just like, constant vigilance, like that. But anyway, I was just like keeping an eye on all three of them, because it was just me, you know, and me against the three, you know. So I had to make sure that they weren't going into the deep end. I don't know how to swim, and my kids aren't the best swimmers yet. They're still learning. So so I basically did that. But then it was just like, when I got kind of tired, I was like, all right, guys, let's start heading back. And then I got bumped to go to the beach, and I'm like, I really don't want to go to the beach yet. Daddy's going to be taking you later on. And I kept telling them that Daddy was going to take them, and then they were like, no, we want to go now. And so I was like, I got tired, and I'm like, okay. It was one of the few times where I just acquiesced to their request, kind of thing. And I'm like, but we're not staying very long, because, you know, I hurt. And Nicole just kept going, I help. The kid doesn't understand that she can't really help with me when my hips and my knees are, you know, in agony and stuff like that, because I'm still, like, dealing with the pain from those chairs. Oh my gosh, those chairs were just terrible, guys. But anyway, we go out there, the kids have fun. I'm telling them not, like, Michael immediately dive bombs into the sand. Like, he's like, sand! And immediately just face first into the sand, like, rolls in it. I'm like, oh my god, this kid, no, man. And then, like, the other two, they're trying to run off. I'm like, no, don't run off, you know, like, listen to me, holy cow, right? And then, basically, we couldn't stay long. I was like, okay, I'm sorry, guys, we got to get in. My hips aren't in too much pain at this point, which they were not happy about, but I was just like, sorry, you know. And we got back home, we cleaned up, you know, and started a load of laundry, because, you know, clothes were messy at that point. My husband kind of got on to them for not listening too well about, you know, me needing a break and stuff like that. Then, like, after lunch and everything, he decided, I'm going to take him to the park to help get rid of some of that excess energy, and then we'll go to the beach again. Nicole decided that she was wanting to take a walk around the beach, so that she did that with her papa and everything. And once we all came back, I stayed home. I was just like, I was hurting too much and stuff like that. So we stayed, I stayed behind. I kind of did a diamond painting while that was going on. And he came back like the kids were completely drenched. It was so funny. Because they decided to go to the beach. He's like, I took them to the to the park. They decided, nope, beach, because the beach was like right next to the park kind of thing. So immediately like got soaked and everything. I'm like, oh my gosh. So we decided to go and do pizza that day because everyone was like too tired and stuff like that. And then my husband worked late that night, had to work, and we tucked the kids into bed and everything. I went to bed like on the mattress again, the air mattress, and passed out. I was like, I'm tired. And that was like 11 o'clock. I was so tired. Like, it was funny. And then wake up the next morning, and like the first thing we did was swimming. We wanted to make sure we had as much fun-filled day as we could. So we spent the morning together as a family. We swam together, and then my husband took them to the beach while I hung out with my in-laws. They went to the hot tub portion while I just kind of floated around in the pool instead. And then I was just like, okay. And we ordered platters from Publix to get picked up. So we're like, we decided to do that, and we were going to snack the whole day. My father-in-law thought we weren't going to finish up the food. I'm like, we have 3 children, and they are bottomless pits, especially when you put fruit in front of them. They'll eat it. And eat it they did. Like, when we came back for lunch and stuff like that, I got in first because I wanted to try and get a shower before everyone else monopolizes the shower and everything. So like I got in and was able to clean up and stuff from the pool, so that way I was able to relax before everyone else showed up. And like I got sunburnt so bad. Like at this point, like my arms are burnt, my shoulders are burnt. I'm like, oh man. So I'm like, well, I got my vitamin D, so I don't need to take my vitamin D supplement today. I took it the next day. I just figured I'll take it the next day instead. And we just pretty much snacked the whole day, to be honest. We didn't really do much. We kind of lazed about and started packing up. My husband put all of our luggage into the back of the car that night, and we were going to stay up late. Well, he was going to sleep, but I was going to stay up late with the kiddos that day because there was supposed to be a space launch that night. Around 11:20ish, but we were just too tired. Like we definitely tuckered them out, and we decided we're just gonna go to bed. And my husband said we're gonna leave at 4 instead of 3. I did not sleep well that night. That was like one of the nights I didn't sleep very well. I kept waking up and just kept tossing and turning. And at 3 o'clock, I kind of gave up, and I just sat at the kitchen table in the dark, and waiting until 4 o'clock. I was just kind of reading on my phone and stuff like that instead. And then like we all left. Left at that time. We woke up the kids. We're like, okay, let's be quiet, go to the bathrooms, all that fun stuff. And when we got out there, the sprinklers were on. Ugh. But the sprinklers, they smelled like sewage. It was disgusting. And of course, I had to walk through the sprinklers, so my pants got absolutely soaked and smelled like sewer water the entire way home, which was unpleasant. So we had to go through all of that. And then at that point, my husband's like, he wanted to stop at Buc-ee's. He's like, I am determined to go to Buc-ee's. So it was like 5 o'clock by that point when he finally got to a Buc-ee's. The kids were still snoozing. So he got to experience Buc-ee's now. He got to have the experience. But he also had to go to use the restroom and all that fun stuff. So that was his experience. But he bought some stuff. Didn't let me know what he bought. Like he bought like some biscuit sandwiches though for him and I. It took a while for me to finally start nibbling on it. To be honest. Um, but yeah, just like I tried to sleep. Because I was just so exhausted. I kind of succeeded. I started listening to Six the Musical and then Epic the Musical after that one was done, to try and get some shut eye in. Um, and I was doing pretty well until around 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. I hear a crack, and my husband kind of cursing, and turns out a rock from one of the trucks ahead of us got flung at us, and hit the windshield. And at first we're like, okay, our windshield's fine, because it hit like more in the middle and then landed closer to the bottom, and everything looked fine. We're like looking at it and we're like, okay, well, this is probably perfect time to go. We just got into South Carolina. Perfect timing to go and get a rest stop. So it was like 9:30 by the time we got to South Carolina. Went to the rest stop and woke up the kids. Well, the kids woke up because of the noise, but and got everyone freshened up and stuff like that. And we gave the kids their muffins, some drinks and things. And then as we're pulling out of the rest area, and I gotta slide myself back up here. As we were pulling back up out of the rest area, that's when we noticed a crack. It was at the bottom of the windshield. We're gonna have to replace our windshield. That's gonna be so expensive. Like, we have a $500 deductible from our insurance. So, and yeah, just not what you want to do, like, after you had a vacation, you know what I mean? So we are watching this crack just get slowly bigger on the way home, just like increasing, just little by little. We get home safely. We pick up lunch. We decide to pick up lunch though, because I was actually hungry. So we didn't get home until almost 1ish, I would say. 1ish, around that time. We immediately start unpacking, and it was just like, it's kind of the thing you have to do when you have kids. It's just like, you can't just leave everything all strewn about, because it never will happen. So as that's happening, I finally find out what my husband bought at Buc-ee's. He bought me like a variety pack of fudge, because I told him I was going to get the variety pack, and then I was told no, that I didn't need that much, which was true. I didn't. I've only ate one piece so far, so I've been good and not eating the other pieces. So I've been like just behaving. And then started a load of laundry, and we all just kind of started just zoning out, to be honest, and picked up groceries. Luckily, my husband ordered groceries, so we went to the store, got that stuff, and then we just kind of just relaxed the rest of the day, to be honest. And then let's see. So I diamond painted a little bit. So I was like, okay, now's the day for me to start working on my diamond painting, start staying up late, right? I was like, today's the day. And I hit the camera again. I'm like, today's the day. I'm going to start doing that. Guys, I didn't stay up till, I went to bed at 11:45. I was just like, I could not stay up. I was just like, I did a section and then I went right to bed. I passed out on the couch. I didn't even go upstairs. I just slept on the couch instead. I was just that tired. I was like, I'm done for the day. I'm done. And I went to sleep so quick. I slept until like 9:30. That's how long I slept. I was like, holy cow. And then it was Michael woke me up, kind of. Well, he didn't really wake me up, but I was woken up a little bit by him. So I was like, I was just like, hey dude. He's like, hey, what are you doing down here? I'm like, I just felt like I needed to sleep. So like I spent all yesterday on Sunday. I did not. The only adulting I did was just basically take care of the kids, like make sure that they were fed and, you know, that kind of stuff. But otherwise, I just sat here and I diamond painted to my heart's content. I updated my logbooks. I was like updating my Gems Flow app. You know, like all the new diamond paintings I had and stuff like that. And then I just started playing catch up on all my YouTube videos. I was doing that Saturday night, but I did that a lot yesterday, and I'm probably going to be doing that again today, to be honest. While I'm editing this video. I do not know how long this video is. I know it has to be at least an hour and a half, if not 2 hours. I am so sorry about how long this video is. But yeah, I don't know how many Whip and Chats I'm going to do during the summer, to be honest. Because summertime, I don't do as much. Like, the kids and I kind of just stay home and stay away from the sun. But I'll probably see about trying to do Whip and Chat. Still trying to do a weekly Whip and Chat. If not, it'll be every 2 weeks. But yeah, I got a couple more videos out here. Oh, and then also Saturday night, I also did my nails, as you guys can see. My nails needed tender loving care after the retreat and then the beach trip and everything. Like, I had to remove all my nail polish after I got home from the retreat, and I just decided not to put any new nail polish on until I got back home. So when I did, I was like, I asked Tiffany to pick out my nail colors, because I had the newest Holo Taco collection come in, and I said, pick 5 of the 7 colors out of this collection. So she did, and I put them on my nails, and they look so good. They're so pretty. The pastels and everything. I love them so much. So yeah, so I feel my hands feel better now that I have, you know, put some tender loving care on it. But yeah, we're going to get the windshield replaced this week. We got a couple more things that's happening towards the end of this week. Well, I'll see what's going to happen. Got an eye appointment to take one of the kids to. So we still got some stuff that we can talk about, at least for this week. Next week might be a little bit more iffy. But yeah, definitely stay tuned for like basically my swag bag video that I'll have sometime this week. Hopefully there won't be any storms. And also like what I got from the anniversary sale from Diamond Art Club. Anyway, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!